7 angels are in shock because only still don't know what happened last night. Watch this now. God says, hurry up, this is your last chance to know the truth before it's too late. My beloved child, listen deeply, for it is in this moment that may appear quiet and still. The heavens trembled in silence, not because of thunder or judgment, but because of the weight of something no one expected, a truth that shattered even the stillness of the angel's breath. The stars paused in their path last night, and in the quietest hour, a secret echoed so loudly that even the gates of heaven opened in disbelief. Angels are standing in awe, looking down, their wings folded not in reverence, but in shock. Because everyone knows. The winds whispered it. The moon carried it. The spirit realm shifted. But only you, beloved, still don't know what happened. And that silence around you? It's not peace. It's the pause before the revelation. God Himself is leaning in, saying, hurry. The moment is fragile. This is your last chance to know the truth before it disappears forever. Last night was not ordinary. There was movement around your name. A name was written. A name was scratched. A voice was heard in a dream you forgot. Someone cried your name into the veil of the Spirit, hoping it would reach you. A candle burned where your memory was mentioned. Something sacred happened when the clock struck midnight. Something that affects your next chapter, your breakthrough, your healing, your protection, and your joy. But somehow, you were not told. Somehow, this truth was delayed, because if you knew what happened, you would never look at life the same again. You would weep. You would rejoice. You would finally understand what the delay was for. Why certain people disappeared. Why certain blessings were held. Why your name was hidden in heaven's chamber until the exact moment of now. God did not send this moment to entertain you. He sent it to awaken you. Because the time to ignore the whispers is over. The angels cannot hold the secret any longer. There is a truth about your life that was revealed in the realm of light. A decision was made without your permission, but it was about your destiny. Someone tried to rewrite what belongs to you. A hand tried to erase a promise. But heaven intervened. Archangel Michael was dispatched not with a sword, but with a scroll. Your name is still on it. Your calling has not been cancelled. But you must know what happened last night to understand what's coming next. If you don't open this window, it will shut. If you don't listen now, you may have to wait years again. But if you do, if you stay, the truth will shock you, but it will also set you free. God is not threatening you. He's inviting you. But even He says, hurry. Last night, in a dimension your eyes couldn't see but your soul could feel, a meeting was held in heaven. It wasn't announced. No trumpet sounded. It was quiet, intentional, sacred. 3 angels stood around a golden table. Your name, yes, your real name, the one God calls you by, was glowing in the center. And one by one, they placed before God the spiritual files of your journey. Your battles. Your heartbreak. Your prayers. Your obedience. Even the moments where you cried alone and whispered, "God, do you see me?" They laid it all out. Not a tear was missing. Not a pain was forgotten. Not a hope was left behind. And then something happened. An angel, one who has been assigned to your life since your first breath, spoke up with urgency in his voice. They still don't know. They still haven't realized what happened last night. If they miss this, it will delay their miracle. It will delay their justice. It will delay their joy. And God, full of mercy, did not let the door close. He gave you this moment. This exact hour. This sacred space to finally hear the truth that everyone in heaven already knows. Someone tried to tamper with your future. Someone tried to distort a conversation about your name. They used your past to build a case against your future. They whispered lies to someone who needed to hear the truth. A person who once believed in you was made to doubt. And last night, that person had a dream. A visitation. Their spirit was shaken. Because God revealed your true heart, and everything they believed about you suddenly felt like a lie they now regret believing. Yes, the very one who turned their back on you, quietly cried your name last night. You didn't hear it. But heaven did. There is something sacred happening right now in the space between you and the truth. God has permitted Archangel Michael to step forward not to warn, but to deliver. You see, this isn't punishment. This is promise. This isn't anger. This is awakening. You were never forgotten. What happened last night is proof that God is still fighting battles behind the veil of time. Some of your blessings were being blocked, not by evil, but by misunderstanding, by confusion, by misplacement. And now, heaven is clearing your name. Heaven is correcting the record. Heaven is restoring the path. But to fully unlock what comes next, you must pause. You must listen. You must stop running from the very thing you've been chosen to inherit. Because this truth, it will break something open. It will explain why you felt exhausted lately. Why people around you have been acting strange. Why you've been waking up at random hours feeling spiritually unsettled. Because in the invisible realm, your name was being debated, and now, heaven has ruled in your favor. The courtroom of angels has declared, let the truth be known. Let the delay be broken. Let the inheritance be released. Someone from your past, someone you still silently think about, is going to come forward. and they won't be able to explain why their hearts suddenly softened, why their dreams have been filled with your face, why their hands trembled when they tried to delete your number, but couldn't. It's not because of memory, it's because of revelation. They've been shown what they refuse to see. And heaven wants you to prepare. Because the next 7 days will unlock more than just clarity, it will release restoration. But if you keep ignoring these divine nudges, you may miss the moment. This isn't a generic message. This is tailored for your spirit. And the angels are still watching, hoping you'll lean in, hoping you'll say, "I receive," hoping you'll dare to believe that maybe, just maybe, this moment is your miracle finally arriving. The silence of your heart lately has not been empty, it has been pregnant with spiritual noise that the human ear cannot hear. Heaven has been trying to whisper something to your spirit, but the distractions of this world have made you numb to the vibration. That's why Archangel Michael was released last night, not to wake your ears, but to awaken your soul. There is something you need to understand before this sacred window closes. You are being prepared to walk into a truth that will feel both familiar and entirely divine. This truth has waited for you. It has watched you grow. And now it cannot wait any longer. The person in heaven who once walked this earth with you, they have been trying to reach out. Not through dreams, not through superstition, but through divine alignment. Their soul saw something last night. They saw what was being said behind your back. They saw the meeting, the conversation, the manipulation. They saw the moment your name was brought up in a place of deception. But what shocked the angels most was how calmly you remained unaware. You carried peace while others plotted storms. You carried forgiveness while others practiced harm. You kept your hands clean while others twisted theirs in secrets. And now, that soul in heaven is interceding for you, strongly, urgently, lovingly. You were not supposed to know yet. But because you've been walking in obedience even when confused, God has granted early access. Yes, early access to the hidden truth that would have come months later. But your patience, your purity, your ability to love in silence has accelerated what should have been delayed. A reversal has begun. And you will feel it in your body. You will sense it in your environment. You will experience it in your relationships. There's a change coming. But this change doesn't start on the outside. It starts inside the deepest room of your spiritual heart. God is trying to unlock a space within you where no trauma can survive, no lie can exist, and no betrayal can steal your peace anymore. Because what happened last night wasn't just spiritual, it was historical. Heaven rewrote your timeline. Heaven took the suffering and rewired it into power. Heaven saw the fake smiles aimed at you and turned them into divine alerts. Heaven heard the conversations that were meant to exclude you, and used them as confirmation that you were never meant to fit into those rooms anyway. Someone you used to trust, someone whose silence lately has pierced you more than their words ever could, is holding a truth they're too afraid to admit. But God will not allow you to remain deceived any longer. The angel assigned to your discernment is now moving through time to bring this revelation forward. You will begin to notice strange confirmations. You will overhear things that seem random but are deeply prophetic. You will see names appear that you haven't thought of in months. And your spirit will not panic, because deep down, your soul already knows what this means. Michael is standing before you now, not to fight, but to reveal. He carries in his hand a scroll, and written on it is the next chapter of your purpose. But it is sealed. And it can only be unsealed when you release the false narrative you have carried for too long. That lie that you are not chosen. That lie that you are always forgotten. That lie that everyone else gets their miracle but you. Heaven says today, let that lie die. Because the truth has finally come alive, and it bears your name. What happened last night was sacred. You didn't see it, but heaven did. And now, because of it, your path is opening, your healing is near, and your legacy will never again be delayed. Heaven has been restless since last night. The angels, once radiant and calm, are now pacing, watching, listening, because they know what was done in silence. And you, beloved, you are still unaware of how sacred the battle truly was. This wasn't just a night of sleep, it was a night of shifting. Archangel Michael stood between two dimensions, protecting your name in one, and rewriting your destiny in another. Someone you once loved deeply, whose soul now rests in heaven, was allowed to witness everything. And their voice echoed through eternity, reveal it to them now, Lord. They must know. So God gave the order. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. And that's why you feel strange today. That's why time feels heavy, like something is trying to press into your spirit and reveal itself. That's why you suddenly remembered a person, a moment, a conversation, a betrayal. Heaven is sending memories not to hurt you, but to heal you by exposing truth. There is a person you once trusted, someone you gave your heart to, or your laughter, or your innocence. They stood in the middle of something last night. Whether in prayer or in silence, their spirit was brought to light. What they've been hiding, what they've been covering with good intentions, has reached its end. God allowed the truth to sit in their throat, but they still refused to speak. And so heaven took over. You deserve to know the truth. Not because you're perfect. Not because you demand justice. But because your heart has endured enough confusion. Last night, your name was spoken in a room you never entered. They talked about your future as if it belonged to them. But they don't know what angels you walk with. They don't know that the very person they tried to lie to was already anointed to tell you the truth. Someone close to them will begin to talk. A small, passing conversation will expose a bigger betrayal. A laugh at the wrong moment. A pause that says too much. A message that was meant for someone else will land in your hands. Divine interception. The person in heaven, the one whose voice your soul still misses, was allowed to whisper something into Michael's ear. And Archangel Michael carried it straight into your atmosphere. That whisper has now settled into the walls of your home, into the energy around your bed, into the air that clings to your chest when you wake. This is why things feel heavier. This is why you're being drawn to listen and feel deeper today. Because last night, they made a decision. And it wasn't in your favor. But heaven made a decision too. And it overruled theirs. There is no one on earth with more authority than the one who formed you. And when God says it's time to know the truth, no man, no silence, no lie can hold it back. The plans of the wicked have been scattered. The manipulation is crumbling. The mask is falling. And the strange heaviness in your body lately? It was never anxiety. It was divine discernment growing stronger. The angels have been training your spirit to prepare you for this moment. And now, Archangel Michael is no longer whispering. He is shouting across dimensions, "Tell them what happened last night. Don't let them walk into another day of confusion. Let them see what was hidden in plain sight." So here it is, you are not forgotten. You were never the outsider. You are the reason heaven moved. Because what was meant to destroy you is now being used to restore you. The person you loved and lost, who now walks in heaven's garden, has already seen the joy that's coming your way. They've touched the edge of your miracle. They saw your name being written again, this time with gold, not tears. They've seen who God is sending. They know who cannot follow you into this next season. And that's why they're pushing from heaven, sending signs, stirring your memory, and aligning divine encounters to wake you up before you repeat the same cycle. This is not a message for everyone. This is a message heaven customized for you. Because last night, while you were still, God decided, my child deserves the truth now. And the truth is about to knock on your door. Last night was not a dream. It was not just a quiet passing of hours. Heaven held its breath while something unfolded behind the veil of this world. A spiritual tribunal was called, and your name was placed on the altar of remembrance. There were angels who gathered, not in fear, but in fierce intercession. Archangel Michael stood at the front, holding a sealed scroll, waiting for the permission to release it. That scroll carried the truth you were never supposed to know. The hidden motives. The lies dressed as care. The gestures that were never pure. And the person who pretended to be part of your healing, while secretly delaying your destiny. This is why the angels are in shock. Because you, the very one they tried to keep in the dark, are being shown something too holy to ignore. You were supposed to keep walking blindly into a trap of repetition. You were supposed to keep thinking it was your fault. That you were the problem. That maybe if you had done more, said more, loved harder, they wouldn't have changed. But God says, enough. He is tearing down the curtain. Not just to expose the lie, but to restore the you that existed before the lie began. You have been sensing something, haven't you? That strange discomfort when you look at your phone. That unusual heaviness in your chest at night. That moment when someone's voice suddenly didn't sound the same anymore. It's not coincidence. It's divine alert. Because last night, the angels uncovered a plan that had been forming for months. Someone was using your kindness as their shield. Someone was laughing in one room and weeping in another, and neither room was built in honesty. And now? Now the vibration of that deception has shaken heaven. You see, there was someone who left this world, someone you loved deeply, someone whose presence once felt like a home you could run to. That soul, who now sits in God's light, has been watching. Watching the way you've been treated. Watching the way your voice has been dismissed. Watching the way your tears have been silenced by people who pretend to love you but carry private envy in their hearts. And that soul, yes, them, they could not stay silent any longer. They petitioned heaven for justice. They asked for one thing: don't let them suffer in confusion. Show them. And heaven agreed. Which is why you're reading this now. Which is why you can't look away. Because the truth is unraveling right now, thread by thread. The person who caused the most confusion in your spirit, the one who smiled in your presence and betrayed you in conversation, will be exposed without your help. You don't have to defend yourself anymore. God has already sent Archangel Michael ahead of you, and he is rearranging circumstances to bring clarity. Conversations you were not meant to hear will be repeated in front of you. People who once walked confidently in deceit will stutter in your presence. Their eyes will shift, their stories will change, and you will remember, last night, something divine shifted on your behalf. There is more. Heaven isn't just revealing pain. It's also restoring promise. There is a door opening, and behind it is the version of you that never got a chance to live fully, because you were always healing, always surviving, always trying to prove your worth in places that never deserved your heart. But now, you're stepping into something pure. Something heaven designed. The soul who left this world, the one who still speaks your name in prayer, has seen it already. They've seen your laughter return. They've seen someone new, walking toward you, who won't compete with your light but protect it. They've seen your home change, your voice rise, your eyes soften again. But for all of this to come, you must open your heart to what God is revealing now. It may be hard. It may hurt. but it will heal. This is why Archangel Michael didn't stop knocking. This is why the angels didn't return to their places. Because the message must reach you. You must understand this: you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are not too broken. The real story of your life is just beginning. And it begins with this truth: they thought you'd never find out. But God just made sure you did. And the person in heaven? They're smiling now. Because you finally heard them. Last night heaven watched what no one on earth could see. As the city slept, your spirit was weighed and your name echoed through angelic halls. Archangel Michael didn't sleep. He stood before a veil, behind which the record of your suffering had been hidden, not from God, but from you. For years, pieces of truth were scattered, buried beneath manipulative smiles, emotional debts, and silent betrayals. But last night, that veil began to tear, and the angels began whispering your name louder than ever before. You were never meant to be kept in the dark. The truth was never supposed to be a mystery you had to earn with pain. The person who held your heart, who claimed to protect you, knew more than they ever confessed. And now, heaven has revealed a name God shielded from you until your heart was ready to hear it without collapsing. And that name is not just a person. It is a door. And once that door is opened, you will understand why your soul never settled, why your energy never felt safe, why your joy was always interrupted just when it started blooming. The person you once trusted blindly, whose voice used to bring comfort, was the same one holding the key to a hidden conversation. A conversation where your name was spoken dishonestly. Where plans were made behind your back. Where your vulnerability was weighed against their own insecurity.